Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. It is Thursday, and today is going to be another true crime video case, whatever you want to call it. So, welcome to my channel, and we're going to get started in just a second, but I did want to give you guys a couple updates. First off, I wanted to thank you guys for all your prayers and good thoughts. For little dude's dad, he did call me yesterday, and the doctor has been very positive. He goes the 28th to start his treatments, and the doctors, he went Tuesday to see his doctor, and he got him prepared for that. So he will start his treatments the 28th. Please continue to keep him in your prayers. The doctor is very, very positive. He has given his dad a 95%, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it. I guess a good result. I guess that, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But anyway, he's 95% sure that they will catch it and take care of it before it gets any worse. Everybody's being positive and upbeat about it, so please continue to keep him in your prayers. And that's why we haven't really said anything. I did not know this until yesterday, why he doesn't want me to say anything to Sky. So, again, please keep us in your thoughts and prayers. The other update is I have added another true crime video thing to my channel. It will be on Thursdays. I will be doing these on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was getting some really good feedback from the ones that do comment, and other people that were messaging me privately, and so asking me to continue this. They really liked it. So without further ado and wait, we're going to get started. Now, this case I did not realize was very popular. Also, it is about Brianna Dennison, and I did not know that this was popular. I didn't realize. I had no clue it was all over the news back then. So if I leave something out, there I will put a couple links where you will find more information about her and about the person that committed this crime against her. She is 19 years old, and she had was attending Santa Barbara College, and she was home on vacation. She's from Reno, so she was on vacation. While I get some more wax. While she was on vacation, and she was staying with some friends in Reno. One of her friends, KT Hunter, she was had attended a couple parties or a party the night before, and so they went to have breakfast at a local motel and at the Sands Regency, and they then, went home and decided to crash. Brianna slept on the couch, and now I'm going to stop here. I'm going to kind of go off a little bit here and give you a little bit of background. From what I'm understanding and what I could figure out is that the way it sounds is that the person that did this, that kidnapped her, and was apparently watching her, the way it sounds. Now, I don't know, don't quote me again. I'm not really sure. They didn't really say. But obviously he was. And anyway, he ended up coming in the back door of the home where she was staying, and he put a pillow over her face, and kidnapped her. And so the next morning, her friend, KT, woke up and couldn't find her. And asked several, there was another friend, I guess, that was staying there also, asked if she had seen Brianna. They said no, so they searched the house. They found the pillow, and it had blood on it. And so, her friend then called Brianna's parents, and then called, and you all will hear a baby in the background. Please, my neighbor's baby newborn is not feeling well, so I do apologize about that noise. So she then called the police, called Brianna's parents, and the police came and they did a search of the home, and they found that her purse was still there, her shoes were still there, her cell phone, and she was last seen in a pair of sweatpants and a tank top. So the next day, or shortly after, they conducted a forensic investigation of the home. They found touch DNA. Now, I had no clue what that meant. Yes, I know it's something to do with DNA. I did not know what meant. I've never heard. Well, no, I'm sorry. Yes, I've heard of touch DNA because I watch. If you watch Law and Order and all that kind of stuff, they do sometimes say that in. So I didn't really know what exactly touch DNA was. I looked this up. It is basically, like, for instance, I put my hand on my laptop. You can get touch DNA from that, or off of a door knob or door handle or whatever. And that's what they did. They found the touch DNA on his on the door, on one of the doorknobs in the house. They then started. Now at this point, they only considered her missing. So after they found all this, they then went ahead and decided, okay, this is possibly a kidnap scenario. So the 21st, they began to search the University of Nevada. The FBI then joined in the search, and they learned that there was male DNA found on the couch where she had been sleeping. So not only was it found on the door knob, but it was also found on the couch. And this DNA was linked to two other previous attacks that happened like a month or two before. So the 29th of January, another woman came forward and said that she knew of a victim that had been attacked at gunpoint in a parking lot of the University of Nevada in October of 2007. But the crime had not been reported. Now, why the crime had not been reported, I'm not really sure. It did not give me that kind of information. They then began to interview, the police and the FBI then began to interview sex offenders and pedophiles to, try to get some kind of a lead or whatever. The then governor of Nevada, his wife, then helped with the search of Brianna. They searched 100 square mile area. There were 1,700 volunteers that were searching for her. Finally, April the 15th, 2 months after, or actually a month after she'd been missing, they, um, a gentleman was leaving, was going back to work for his lunch break, and he was walking back to work, and he uh, noticed a bright orange colored fabric that was standing out. Now I get, they were in a pile. Oh, excuse me. It was in this fabric was in a pile where a tree had been discarded, if that makes any sense, and it was in a ditch. He discovered, when he finally got closer, he moved closer to I guess investigate. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, but then again, how else are you gonna find anything? But I guess he was curious, and he investigated, and he found a that the socks were attached to feet. So he uh, his first thought was that it was a mannequin, and so he, you know, um, realized then that it was a deceased woman. So he went back to work and called the police and told the police where he had found the body. And then when they got there, they identified her as Brianna. And he had heard it, but again, he did not know that this was her. I guess, obviously, I mean, he'd seen it on the news, but I guess he didn't really pay attention to the pictures or whatever. I don't really know. Um, so they, of course, did the autopsy, and they did the they did say finally, come out and say that it was her. Yes, I'm going by one. My my multiplacers are not cooperating for me today, so I'm doing one by one today. So I'm sorry. Excuse me. Goodness. Now then, on the 29th of January of 2008, they released a description of the unknown person that excuse me, that they uh, were wanting. I guess this was a person in question, and so they after all the previous victims and so forth gave a sketch, they had a pretty good sketch to release to the police, and or release, and so they an item of, now this is what I found very, very interesting and kind of strange. Now, I don't know, at my first thought of hearing this, this led me to believe that possibly there was another person involved. But then again, this is just after first looking it over and starting to, go with it. Um, an item of underwear was found near her body that was not hers, and it had DNA of the possible suspect and an unknown woman. And so they They said it didn't belong to Brianna, and that it might have been left near her body to basically taunt the police. And that's just kind of like, I don't know. That gives me, kind of the willies, because who in their right mind? But then again, it's, this person is probably not in his right mind. The police then asked anyone they went and asked if anyone recognized the clothing, and if they did, to please come forward and identify it if it was theirs. So then, now, they found her body in February of 2008. 9 months later, now between the time that they found her body and 9 months later into November, the case was kind of at a standstill. They had no leads. They were kind of, just kind of, I guess, they just couldn't do anything else. The 25th of November in 2008, James Michael Bila, who was 27 years old, was arrested and booked on charges of murder, first-degree kidnapping, and sexual assault. Now, this arrest occurred. Now, this is what I'm trying to understand why they would do it this way. The arrest occurred at a daycare center. Why they did it there, I'm not really sure. Now, I'm assuming that the police waited until after the child, his child had gone into the daycare center. But my thing is, why would you do it there? There's children there. Not unless the police, kind of advised them, the daycare center, that this was going to happen. You need to, to keep the kids away. I'm kind of hoping that they did that. I just think that's just kind of, I don't understand why they would do it there, but, okay. Now, a DNA sample was collected from him, but he had refused the DNA sample. Now, I don't know why. Of course, that's his, his right to do so. But now I will say that they did eventually get a DNA sample from his son, because that was his biological child, and they asked his girlfriend if they could do that, because he had refused to take to have a DNA test taken. So right then and there, you would think, okay, why would you refuse if you're not guilty? Because, mind you, he's saying he's not guilty, and he said he wasn't guilty in court. But, that's their right. It's whatever. It is what it is. Now, he had already been arrested in 2001 for threatening his former girlfriend's neighbor with a knife. Okay, I'm sorry, but there's something really, really wrong with this person if that's the case. And it just, okay. If you've been arrested before, my thing is, okay, if he was arrested for assault, why wasn't he in jail for that assault? For the knife? That, I don't understand. It didn't give me any information on that. I don't understand why. So now then they hold a press conference in November of 2008 that confirmed that the DNA was his, and that it had been linked to Brianna and to a previous assault. Now, at the same press conference, It was also stated that Bila had been turned in by a friend of Bila's girlfriend, which they considered a secret witness. Now, I can understand why this person would want to be a secret witness, because number one, how many times has this secret witness been around Bila and, his girlfriend? Obviously enough that, they felt that they needed to be secret, and probably, didn't want any kind of, uh, you know, retaliation or whatever. I don't know what. Now, this is where there is a not. This is where it explains the kind of 9-month lapse between February and November. His girlfriend had confided to the friend that she had found underwear unknown to her in his pickup truck, and that they were on their way back from Washington State, where he had taken a job in March. So he's been gone for 9 months into Washington for a job. So there's that is really one reason why there was a 9-month lapse. But okay, now this is where it gets even more crazy, or not crazy, but interesting. They then put a sketch out of the suspect and a description of the vehicle that he had been driving at the time that he had kidnapped Brianna. They found it in Idaho. He had sold it in Idaho. Now, after all of this evidence, he denied anything. He denied it. What is it? He denied any involvement, and he declined the DNA. Now, as I said before, because he declined to have a DNA test done, they then went to Bila's girlfriend to get a DNA test taken and see if she would allow to have the DNA test taken and have his son, allow them to give a DNA test to their son. And she, gave them permission, and the test indicated that a direct relative was of his had left DNA at the home, at KT Hunter's home, where Brianna was staying. But apparently he still denied any involvement whatsoever in all of this, even though they had all this evidence against him, and they, had the truck on the way. They found the truck in Idaho, and the truck was on its way. So that this is just, you've been caught, basically. So why are you going to deny it? But they also found that it matched another case, another assault case. So the district attorney said that he would be prosecuting the case, and that he would be seeking the maximum penalty, which in this case was up to and including the death penalty. Now, as I said, they found his truck in Idaho. When they found his truck in Idaho, they told him that they had found it and that they were bringing it back. And again, he still denied any kind of involvement. So when he went to trial in May, The jury did return a verdict of guilty. It took them 9 hours to come to a verdict, and but again, his attorneys argued against the death penalty, stating that number one, he was a model prisoner, and number two, that he had a very, very abusive past. His father was abusive. And, okay, now, I get it, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going there. But that's why they felt that he was a productive member of society prior to his crimes, and that, of course, he was a model citizen. Okay, he may have be a model citizen, and he may have been a productive member of society beforehand, but look at what he's done in the past, 6-7 months before Brianna? He did all this stuff. He assaulted people. No, he didn't kill them until Brianna. And didn't kidnap them, but still. So anyway, they handed out the death penalty. And July the 3rd, was it 3rd? Was it? Hold on. Yeah, July 30th. He appealed his sentence. He took it to the Court of Appeals, and oh no, I'm sorry. The judge sentenced Bila to 4 additional life sentences, and for multiple counts of rape and kidnapping, and associated with attacks on the 2 victims that were prior to Denisen's abduction. Bila then appealed the Nevada Supreme Court to reverse the denial of his 2012 writ of habeas corpus. His appeal has most recently been denied on June 12th, 2019. They had considered his arguments and concluded that they did not warrant relief, and that they ordered the judgment of the district court to stay the way it was. Now, it doesn't tell you what his appeal was. They just want relief, whatever that means. Why he wanted to appeal, again, it doesn't really, tell you why he did that. Of course, I would have to go and see if I could find the documents if, they are available, which I doubt very seriously they are. So now, and after all of this, of course, you've got all this media attention. And I did not know this until I was reading this. It was all over the news. It was everywhere. I didn't know that it was all over the news. It was, all over CBS, all over ABC, all over MSNBC, all over, everywhere. I did not know this, and I didn't even know that they did a documentary that was on E! Entertainment, and it was called Young, Beautiful, and Vanished, 15 Unthinkable Crimes. And this was also on 2020, and also on Dr. Phil, which I had no clue that this was on any of the any big major news outlet. And I watch the news. I'm not watching it. I haven't been watching it for 2 days because I'm trying to just not think about all that's going on in the world today, because I voted, but this election, I'm sorry. I just don't care. I just don't want to hear it anymore. No offense. I mean, I'm not saying I don't care because, our votes matter, but I just don't want to hear anymore. Um, so now after all of this, after her case, and after, they uh they found her, they held a vigil on the 23rd of 2008 in February. They held a candlelight vigil for Denison in Reno. Also, during all of this, in Nevada, now, Tia, Melissa, you all may remember this, and if you do, you guys can tell me if you remember this. Um, they, the sale of handguns, stun guns, and pepper spray increased around the university, or increased in the University of Nevada. And a lot of college students were then, buying, handguns, stun guns, and pepper spray to protect themselves, which I can't say I blame them. And Denison's mother founded a foundation. It's called Bring Bree Justice Foundation, and they're trying to implement changes. Now, what kind of changes? I did not know. I did not. I'm not sure. I will link if I can find it. I have to Google it and look, but I will link it down below in the description box for you guys, so you guys can see. I'm assuming that it is still, a viable site. If it's not, I will let you guys know. Um, so yeah, this whole thing was just kind of like, seriously. And I live in a town that has a university, so I see a lot of these college students that, are taking a lot of precautions, precautions that, back when I was in high school and getting ready to go into college, which I never did, but you didn't see that. You didn't see that, and now, this is just this day and time, even though this was like, 10 years, 9, 10 years ago, this is just, this is, it's kind of sad that college students cannot go, out, especially college girls, and cannot go out and, without having some kind of protection, which I would normally tell my children. I have a daughter that, is in nursing school, so I get it. I worry about her when she has to go to classes at night, even though she doesn't live here, but I worry about her. So yeah, it does pull at the heartstring a little, because this is kind of a sad case. And like and of course, I did not know this was national news until I pulled this up, and I clicked on the link in Wikipedia for the national news, and it was everywhere. I just never realized that it was this big of a case, and I don't remember ever seeing it. But then again, I didn't really, I'm old. I'm getting old. I probably watched it and didn't remember. So yeah. So that's this case, and I hope y'all enjoyed this. And if there's any questions, comments, please feel free to comment below. And if you guys have any cases that you would like me to look up, please, you can comment below, or you can message me if we're friends on Facebook. Everybody have a great week, and I will see you all next time. And thank you for watching.